Good afternoon. My name is Firefighter Louis Stanfill. Today we are going to be discussing fire code and prevention for FIR at 4311. Fire code and prevention comes down to the basics of the 3 E's: education, enforcement, and engineering. Fire education comes in many forms. From the most basic, which would be how we educate our youth, including school visits and presentations, to the education process that it goes through to be a business owner. Anyone opening up a business that would have a brick and mortar will need to go through code enforcement, which leads us to our second E, the enforcement. Enforcement comes in the form of looking over permits, reviewing properties, and doing final inspections to make sure that the building and the business are up to code. Finally, the last E is engineering. Engineering plays a massive part in fire prevention, as we can only learn from the disasters that have already occurred. Such technologies as the panic door help to prevent small fires from becoming large disasters. Specifically, the panic door helps to compartmentalize buildings that are large enough for fire to grow rapidly if a flow path is not contained. Enforcement in our jurisdiction comes from the fire prevention service in the department. The prevention service does many different aspects of the enforcement. First and foremost, they knock on doors to ensure that businesses are up to code. This is not random. This is typically done when new businesses open or new buildings are built or ownership has changed hands. Additional education comes from these enforcements when businesses and building owners have to understand that what their buildings are made of, the risk of those buildings, and the type of prevention measures that need to be enacted in order for these buildings to be deemed operational. These new codes are applied through application processes. These applications outline the function of the building, what's intended purposes, whether it be commercial, industrial, or residential. Based upon this, there is a list of different factors that need to go into the building. Such things as industrial buildings handling highly volatile and flammable substances need to have appropriate measures for those flammable substances. One particular measure is ESFR sprinkler systems. ESFR stands for Early Suppression Fast Response. These are expensive sprinkler systems that go into large industrial warehouses that, when triggered, a pump will apply a high volume of water into the warehouse in order to prevent a catastrophe from getting worse. Local organizations within our city that are private that help to determine fire resistance and building materials include organizations like Fire Code. These businesses can be hired out to vet certain businesses and buildings before they apply or submit their application to Fire Code to help streamline the process. Additionally, if any business or building is having issues in getting approved, they can help them overcome the hurdles, typically at a cost to the building owner or tenant or business owner. Different types of tests that are used in order to rate fire components and materials are the Steiner tunnel test. The Steiner tunnel test is a test that will determine the rate of fire growth as well as the volatility of certain substances. I hope this was educational to you and that you enjoyed my talk. Thank you very much.